These are 5 things that I learned from breastfeeding from birth to a year. And now I just can't get them off. Hey good people, welcome back to the channel. I'm Cassie. Welcome if you're new, welcome if you're old. Thank you all for clicking on the video to see what I've learned throughout my little year of my journey of breastfeeding. He just turned 1 and I'm still breastfeeding and I'm trying to get him off, but it's been very difficult. Make sure you stay to the end for more mom life content. If you like this video, don't forget to like. All right, now let's get into the 5 things that I learned about breastfeeding. Number 1, let's be honest, it's super hard. Now, I know, some people will be like, well, don't tell people that, or don't tell, new moms or people who are just starting to breastfeed. Like, I'm not a new mom. This is my 3rd child, and he's the only one I breastfed with. So it was very difficult. And if you want to know why, it's just young and dumb. I didn't want to do it. And I always said if I had another child, I would try it. I tried it. It's been a year, and now I can't get him off. So it is hard. Or let me say it was hard for me. The first, learning the proper latch, learning how much he should or shouldn't have, or how long he should take, and then going to the doctor and saying, hey, he's only breastfeeding for this certain amount of time. Is this okay? He only does it on one side. He doesn't do both sides. It was a learning curve, and it was challenging. Not necessarily difficult, but it was challenging. So, but I will say, and which leads me to number 2, it gets easier. After learning his pattern, it got a little easier, and it made it so I could pick up when he was like, he wants to breastfeed, especially now. The first 3 or 4 months may have been a little difficult, especially the first month, because I was brand new, didn't know, But as he got older, as we got into the swing of things, into a rhythm, into a pattern, I picked up on his cues and what he likes and how he does. He didn't pick up on mine. He just does his own thing. But it gets easier, and it wasn't that he was, every 3 hours. Sometimes he would go 3 hours. Sometimes he would go 4 hours. Sometimes he would go 2 hours. The whole schedule thing for me was just like, okay, and I have a pediatric background. I worked in peds as a medical assistant for, my son is 15, probably 13, 14 years. So knowing the knowledge that I have, and then having a new baby in a new time, 10 years later after my first one, it was just like, everything is different. So that feeding schedule, oh, he needs to eat every 2 to 3 hours, was not. Feeding for every 2 to 3 hours was not, did not work for us. I follow his lead. I follow his schedule, and we made it work, which made it easier, which was also a learning curve. Number 3, breastfed babies are clingy / all over the place. Like, there's a picture on my Instagram of me breastfeeding him. It was for breastfeeding week. And he's like slapping me in the face. He moves all over, all around. He doesn't stay still. It's almost like he's nosy. It's like, oh, what's over there? Now I understand when they say you go to a quiet little space and be to yourself. No, he wants to be all over, which makes it difficult, but we get through it. And this is not like, oh, breastfeeding is hard, you shouldn't do. No, breastfeeding is challenging. It's worth it. It's a struggle, but it's worth it. Like, what in life isn't a struggle and it isn't worth it? And when I say he's clingy, or breastfed babies are clingy, let's just say my baby is clingy. Because anytime during the night when he will wake up, and let's say I didn't pick him up, my husband will go pick him up, he is raising total hell. He is like, no, I don't want you. He wants me. And for the first, like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. My husband would leave and come home. At first, the first 2 weeks, my husband was here. Then when he left and he came back, and it was like, oh, I just had mom all day. I had mom all day. Who are you? I don't know you. But it was just like, he would just come. He comes to only me. Aside from his brothers. And it was, but now they're better. I'm not going to say that he doesn't like his dad. He loves his dad. He goes to his dad. But there was a period of time where he was just like, mom, mom, mom. I just want mom. I just want mom. If you don't have boobs and if you're not mom, I don't want you. I don't want you. That's what I mean by clingy. It's all they want all day. All he wanted was me, mom. Me. Number 4 is feeling guilty about when to stop breastfeeding or wanting to stop breastfeeding. He just turned a year old, and I've been wanting to stop breastfeeding at 3 months, at 6 months, at 9 months, and now he's a year old, and I'm trying to figure it out. I tried at 3 months. No, I didn't try at 3 months. I thought about it, but I was like, just you're here. We're doing this. This is what he knows. You might as well just keep going. And I think six months or 9 months, one of those, I tried, and it was horrible. Matter of fact, he bit me, and I kind of like, you freak out, yell a little bit, and he stopped breastfeeding for a couple of days, but then he got back on, and I tried to pump and do stuff. He was taking formula, he was taking the pump milk, and when I couldn't pump, he was taking the formula. That just didn't work. So breastfeeding is what he wants. We tried to give him we tried to switch him over to whole milk, and that is not working either. I'm not gonna say it's not working, but it's not his forte. His forte is breast milk. So what I learned was to stop feeling guilty about wanting to stop breastfeeding. If I'm just gonna breastfeed, I'm gonna breastfeed. If I'm not, I'm not. The last thing I learned about breastfeeding is that it's rewarding. It's very rewarding. I have this bond with this baby that no one else has. Back to the clingy point. It's a rewarding thing, breastfeeding, because of the bond, because of the nutrients, because of, I'm just gonna go with the bond. I just like the bond. He loves me. I love him. We are in it to win it. And it's rewarding to know that your body is doing what it was made to do. And even though there are people who can't breastfeed or, have a difficult time or have to stop, if you breastfed and you overcome the challenges, and it's just a rewarding factor to know that you did something that maybe you thought you couldn't do. Maybe you thought you didn't want to do. Maybe you didn't think you had it in you, or I don't know. And it's very cool to see that, I wasn't planning on breastfeeding for a year. 3 months, I wanted to quit because I was tripping, and I was like, this is too hard, this is too much. But around the 9-month area, I was like, okay, can we stop now? Like, how can I wean you off? How can we stop doing this? So for me to go a whole year is it's exciting, it's rewarding, it's surprising, it's very fulfilling, and I would not have wanted any other way. Now I totally regret not doing it with my other 2, but you can't turn the hands of time back. So but yeah, those are the things that I learned. So 1, for me, it was hard, then it got easy. He's a clingy, all over the place baby. I learned not to feel guilty about wanting to stop, and then also it's just rewarding. It's a rewarding experience, and it's something that if you can do it, I think you should. Which, if you asked me 5 years ago, I would have totally disagreed. But hey, that's what I learned, I think, from my recollection. For my little 1 year of doing 1+, because we still going, of breastfeeding, that's what I learned. Go ahead and click the like button if you like. And also, like I said in the beginning, don't forget to click the videos at the end for more mom life content. Go ahead and subscribe if you want more mom life content, everyday life content, or all of those little things in between. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.